Okay, I am not going to put any closed captioning because I just wanted to get this out there so it's ready for tomorrow morning. I was looking at kind of the weather models and what's going on because the 00Z HRRR model was out, kind of showing what's going to be happening for tomorrow. The scenario in Kansas is going to be, and into Missouri is going to be interesting, as the models are pointing towards this weird mixing with kind of a stratified dry line, where there's a little bit of moisture behind the dry line and a little bit beyond it. And what that points to, if there are any supercells, they're going to be elevated, not tornadic, with some large hail, but more likely damaging winds. With that kind of a dew point depression, you tend to get the more high winds with those elevated storms and maybe even more low precipitation if they become hail producers, because there is going to be some cold air aloft, but not as much as the storm system on Friday. And that can go into western Missouri. Now, if those dew points of the 60 to 65 get up to the I-35 corridor, we could be talking about one or two supercells that could possibly produce a tornado, but in that area, it's going to be more likely hail damaging winds, unless there's some sort of residual boundary, or if that front is a little farther north than expected, then it could be a little more surface space. Right now, Illinois, it's looking like a 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. is going to be the best chance for tornadoes as it looks right now. And dew points in the Champaign-Urbana area could approach 70 tomorrow afternoon, according to the HRRR model. And I think with the way the inflow is going to be and where that boundary is going to be at, I think that's going to be there. The kind of wild card is there's another boundary that could happen as cold as the Great Lakes are, that can create a boundary down that's going to be a sharper contrast that could create near surface space storms, which could increase the tornado threat in and around Chicago and then in northern Indiana. But right now, the better bet is going to be kind of in that Champaign-Urbana, central southern Illinois into southern Indiana. I think it's going to be the best chance for tornadic supercells, and some of those could be strong. But despite saying that, and the dew points being a little bit low, the areas around Chicago vicinity, especially South Chicago, could still have that influence from the boundary from the lake temperatures that could act as a strong cold front that could create near surface space storms that can enhance hail. And there's going to be enough helicity that tornadoes are going to be possible if that scenario unfolds. But the safe bet is if you're in central southern Illinois, southern Indiana, or we'll say southern Indiana, be weather aware for tornadoes, and a lot of that's going to be after dark. But it's like, and then anything beyond that, it's like you may have more severe storms, but they're not going to be likely tornadic unless you get a bow echo that ends up getting some vorticity with it because of the helicity levels, and that'll be like on the north side of a bow echo where that would occur. But overall, the severe storms, I think, and then Texas, I didn't really focus on because that's going to be, from everything I see, a windbag event, maybe some isolated 2.5 inch hail. Kansas, if the dew points go in the 60s and let's say I-70 area hits 85 and that boundary is a little farther north, we could be talking surface space, but that's not what the models are showing right now. So I'm not convinced that's going to be the case, and any supercells are going to be elevated. So I don't think a tornado threat's going to be anything significant in Kansas or western Missouri. And I mean, if it goes along a boundary, it becomes near surface space, could be a brief tornado. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be non-tornadic supercells for Kansas and Missouri. And I'll have some graphics to go with that'll play along the screen. But just wanted to give that quick update on the weather. And that's right now my forecast thinking for tomorrow's severe weather. And tomorrow would be Tuesday, March 10th.